So welcome back to another rebuild here on NBA 2K25 Next Gen. In today's video, we are back with another episode of our Curry era rebuild series, and today it's going to be the Detroit Pistons. When I think of the mid-2010s Pistons, pretty much throughout the entire decade, there were never really anything super special, and this team was really not an outlier in any way, shape, or form. This team ended up with a record of 37-45 throughout the regular season. They were coached by Stan Van Gundy. They ended up as the 10 seed in the Eastern Conference, and quite honestly, we definitely have some work here to do today. Now, Andre Drummond is here, Reggie Jackson, Tobias Harris. There are certainly some, relatively quality NBA players, but this team as a whole, there's definitely a lot of things we're going to have to do in order to make this team a championship contender. I know I mentioned it in last week's Kings rebuild, and I'll mention it again today, and probably as I continue to make our way through these Curry-era rebuilds, but we are slowly but surely coming to the end of this series for 2K25. There's actually only 3 teams left to do after this. It is the Charlotte Hornets in the East, it is the Utah Jazz, and the New Orleans Pelicans in the West. So let me know which one of those teams you want me to do next down below in the comment section, and then really, and maybe more importantly, any other series or challenges that you guys are looking to see as we approach March and the rest of the 2K25 calendar until the offseason rebuilds begin. So I'm excited for this one today, man. Pistons fans, I know you guys have been through a lot of pain pretty much since 2004. So let me see what I can do for you today, and let's get into it. I think back very fondly to this era of the NBA. Now, I understand this was the first season that Kevin Durant was in Golden State, and the Warriors had pretty much completely broken basketball at this point, right? It never really felt like there was going to be any competition really at all. At least in the West, I know obviously LeBron ruled the East, and as we sit here with the Detroit Pistons, we obviously know that we are nowhere near either of those two teams. So let's go ahead and let's discuss this roster because there's not a lot that I'm going to be super positive about, but there are certainly some nice role players here, and then Andre Drummond obviously as well, that we can definitely build upon as we make our way through this rebuild. So we'll go position by position as we always do. Now, 26-year-old Reggie Jackson has gotten paid. He's on a 4-year, roughly $66 million contract. He is certainly going to be here in the long term if we would like him to be. And my one biggest kind of goal, at least for this year one at the point guard spot, is to really determine if he's going to be good enough to be a starting point guard on a championship caliber team eventually. Now, I don't know if I'll get that answer in one season. It is likely going to be a tough choice at some point in time, but Reggie Jackson was a bucket at one point in time, and he's only 26, so I'm certainly not going to force the issue too much there. 34-year-old Beno Udrih, on the other hand, is likely going to be ending his tenure somewhere else in the league because it is not going to be here. He's an expiring contract, and in all likelihood, I will be looking to move on from him pretty much immediately. William White's not a real person. Of course, the CPU kind of puts auto-generated players on the roster because it has to fill out 15 spots. Okay, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope is the one and only real shooting guard we have on this team. He will very much likely be starting here for year one. He's only 23 right now. And my interest is just seeing how much he can kind of develop within this 3-year rebuild. Again, we'll certainly look for an upgrade here behind KCP. The small forward spot, going to be Marcus Morris, 3-year, $15 million. I love that contract. I think it is great. It is $5 million annually. And my goal, again, is just to see kind of similar to Reggie Jackson, is he good enough to be a starter on a championship team? And I honestly don't know the answer to that question right now, but again, we'll kind of take it in stride and work our way through this video. But again, nice quality role player here. Reggie Bullock, 25. I'm hoping that overall can continue to go up because I don't necessarily think it'd be a bad idea to keep him on this roster. It could be a quality contributor off the bench, but we'll keep an eye on it as things do progress. Another auto-generated player, by the way. The power forward spot, Tobias Harris. He's 24 years old right now. He has been paid as well. 3 years, $48 million. That is a lot of money for Tobias Harris, who I believe was actually one of, if not the leading scorer of this team in real life. So I'm not exactly sure what my plans are for Tobias. Again, he's getting paid, and it's a decent amount of money, even for 2016-17. So we will keep an eye on it. Henry Ellenson, that is not a name I've heard in a while. And for good reason. He wasn't very good. So I'm not sure how many years he'll have on this team. He's only 19 years old at the moment, and he already is a 73 overall. So, if he develops well, maybe he can be a backup power forward for the entire video. And then finally, the center spot, the one position that we have some, okay depth, and obviously the best player on this team in Andre Drummond as well, even though he is only 23. So I'm going to build around him as much as I possibly can. I don't know if he'll end up, being the highest overall player or the best player on this team as the video progresses, but we will certainly look to put up a nice supporting cast for him because the Pistons sure as shit didn't do a pretty good job of that in real life. Then behind him, we got Boban, we got Aaron Baines here as well. So, we're working with some pretty nice depth at the moment. It is actually more depth than I am used to in these Curry era rebuilds because most of the time there's like at least 5 or 6 auto-generated players, and today we don't really have that many whatsoever. So we are going to be making some trades before we kick off year number 1. Our first trade of today's video is going to come with the Orlando Magic, and quite honestly, it's a pretty useless one. We're not making a major upgrade whatsoever. Hell, in terms of overall, we're actually downgrading, but we're making this trade with Orlando for some long-term solidity at the backup point guard spot. Now, I don't know if DJ Augustin's going to end up being the backup one for the remainder of this video, but he is 6 years younger than Beno Udrih and is on a multi-year contract where Udrih, at the age he is, not probably going to get re-signed this offseason, and he's also, just not a long-term option whatsoever. So, DJ Augustin, welcome to the team. Another trade here, not really one that's my favorite, but I think it is a necessary move. Aron Baynes was the third center, and although he, technically doesn't have to be expiring this offseason because he does have a player option, he really just wasn't needed on this team. We had a pretty big need at the backup shooting guard spot behind Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, and we are going to find that answer here in a deal with Brooklyn for Joe Harris. Now, Joe Harris is only 25. He has a team option after this year, and my one goal is to just kind of hope and see him continue to develop. So I love Aron Baynes. It would have been really fun to have him, but we just, unfortunately, just don't really need a third center. So that's what we're working with as of now. We have a couple new backup guards here with Augustin and Harris, and quite honestly, I think I'm pretty content to just go ahead and set the rotation. So I don't think we're going to be very good, but again, it's going to be a development year for pretty much everybody, and we'll reassess in the offseason, but let's set that rotation. If I were to tell you I'm super excited to see how this first season goes here in Detroit, I would be straight up lying to your face. So I'm not going to do that. I don't think we're going to necessarily have a strong record. I don't think we're a playoff team. Again, this team in real life won only 37 games. I don't think we are, really going to be anywhere much better than that, if you will. Here's how it's going to look. Reggie Jackson, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Marcus Morris, Tobias Harris, and Andre Drummond. Now, I don't want to, dispute the fact that this is like an okay starting five, right? This isn't the worst team in the league. I don't want anybody to think I'm getting that far ahead of myself, but I also don't want you to think that I have any sort of real expectations, because that would be a flat-out lie. Now, the bench is not great. I'm having Henry Ellenson be our sixth man for the fact that he's 19 years old, and that is about it. I don't like big men traditionally to be sixth men. You guys all know that. In my opinion, it should either be a guard or a small forward, but Henry Ellenson, obviously a power forward, is getting the nod strictly because he's 19. Now, behind him is going to be Boban Marjanovic. You got DJ Augustin, who we recently acquired from the Magic. Reggie Bullock's going to be my backup small forward, and finally Joe Harris, who we did just get from the Nets. So, yeah, I have no idea who Derek Goodman is. Stan Van Gundy was the head coach of this team in real life, and he looks like he's about 24, so we'll see how that works. I will see you guys at the end of year number one here in Detroit. When we were discussing the rotation before we started simulating year number one, I mentioned that this would not be one of the worst teams in the league, or at least I didn't think it was one of the worst rotations in all of basketball. And I might have been wrong in that aspect, because this team won 15 games. 15. Now, I know in real life they won 37. I've mentioned it a few times now. And if I'm being honest with you, I actually would prefer to be in the position that I am right now, because this doesn't mean we're middle of the pack. We are likely going to get one of the top picks, and I'd rather be picking at number 2 or 3 than, at number like 8 or 9. So I'm actually not super mad about it, maybe just a little surprised, and maybe we need a little bit of a bigger overview of this team as a whole. Now, LeBron James is winning MVPs. Ben Simmons, your Rookie of the Year. Lou Will, sixth man. Draymond win DPOY. Derrick Rose, I've given this speech a million times. You can ignore the fact that he wins Most Improved. It's strictly because the user or whoever created this custom roster in this era, put MVP Derrick Rose in. I don't know why. And then Stephen Butler, whoever the hell that is, head coach of the Toronto Raptors, your Coach of the Year. Safe bet, we're not in the playoffs, right? At 15 wins, I think that is a safe assumption. We have the worst record in the East. Actually, the worst record in all of basketball. So, potentially, number 1 overall pick coming our way. It's possible, my friends. Here are the numbers. Reggie Jackson, Tobias Harris, KCP. I need Drummond to score a little bit more than this, right? I mean, he's making real money now at this point. And again, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Andre Drummond, isn't good or anything like that, because that's just not true. Is he regressing? He's down to an 82 overall. Wait a fucking minute. What are you so pissed about? Oh, cut me a fucking break, Andre. Really? You're the best player on this team. You scored 11 points. Let's not get mad at everybody else here, but let's look in the mirror a little bit there, my friend. Okay, I have no plans on trading Andre Drummond, but good God, man. Isaiah Thomas and the Celtics getting it done, man. I wish IT could have got it done here in Boston every single day. Okay, some player retirements. We're just going to have to take a good hard look, because we're not in a good spot right now, and it is actually worse than what I initially anticipated. So this is obviously one of the bigger moments so far throughout this rebuild. I need number 1. We fall to 4. Fuck, I mean, that sucks. And then I'm going to move on from Derek Goodman. Again, he wasn't actually the head coach of this team. I could actually use Don if Don wants to come here. Whoops. Wait, what? What just happened? I'll also throw some money at Stauffer, and then I don't really love the idea of getting Doc Rivers, but if I have to, I will. All right, we get Stauffer. That's fine. Okay, the 2017 NBA Draft. This is Jason Tatum, Donovan Mitchell, Bam Adebayo, all those guys, and we certainly could get one of them here. I think Donovan Mitchell is going to be the guy I'm looking for, though. In this draft class, I'd say Tatum's easily the best player out of it. Mitchell probably number 2. But just thinking about, positional need for us, I'm not saying small forward's not a big need, but I also look at, Tobias Harris, Marcus Morris, and I think they're okay, and it's not a shot at KCP. I would just maybe prefer to have Mitchell, and on top of the fact I get Tatum a decent amount. So what I'm going to try to do is move up to the number 2 overall pick. I don't know who has that at the moment. It is going to be the Miami Heat. Probably interested in Donovan Mitchell, but I would just like to find a way to get this done, and hopefully not have to give up a lot. Whoops, that's not what I meant to do. A lot in the draft pick department, so good God, let's scroll. Number 2 overall pick, what do you say? Nothing there? Okay. A lot of guys are expired, which is unfortunate for me. If you want DJ Augustine, you can have him. And then could I just get this done with some seconds, potentially? No, not going to happen. Fuck. Oh, boy. You want Boban? Fuck, they can't afford it. All right, you know what? We're going to have to do this the old-fashioned way. Orlando takes Tatum number 1. I'm assuming they're going to... What? I'm sorry. Oh, my God. Okay, well, now... Oh, my God. Please screw this up, Phoenix. Oh my God. It is my day today. It is my day today. Okay, we don't have any other picks, right? Thank God. All right, well, Donovan Mitchell fell into my lap there at number 4, and I'm, certainly going to take it. Harris coming back, yes. None of the auto-generated guys will be. Qualifying KCP, yes, and honestly, sure. Okay, free agency here. I don't think we have a ton of money to spend, unfortunately. We actually have, some bigger contracts than I was initially hoping to have. At this point, but I'm just going to pay everybody for now. Actually, I want to give Bullock a 2-year deal. Yeah, that's what I want to do. And then Ellenson, actually, he's restricted, so we should be able to match whatever he gets, but 2 years, 2 annually for Bullock. And then, just don't renounce. Ellenson will probably be able to match whatever he gets. Okay, it is more than past time for some trades. Oh, okay. Thank you very much, Los Angeles. Okay, we pulled off a deal here. DJ Augustine, Boban Marjanovic, Joe Harris, 1 future first-round pick and 2 future seconds, and we landed ourselves Julius Randle. Now, obviously, this isn't prime Julius Randle. He's not, really anywhere near the best version of himself, but he's an upgrade, and I know he's going to continue to develop, which is obviously really important for me. So I think we're likely going to move Tobias Harris to the small forward spot. I would rather have him play there next to Randle than I think backing him up. So we move Harris to the 3. Overall, doesn't really change whatsoever. And I think that's going to be really beneficial just towards the quality depth we have on this team. I think it's a big addition. I think I'll likely give Reggie Jackson 1 more year, as the starting point guard. Mitchell will be starting at the 2. KCP, who we just re-signed, will be his backup. It's going to be Harris and Morris here. I'm not sure what I want to do with Bullock. I know we did just re-sign him, but honestly, at this point, if I can find a trade that lands me some sort of backup, I'll probably take it. So, Josh Richardson. I just don't really need Josh Richardson. We're good at the 2 and the 3. I can get DJ Augustine right back. I mean, wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Georges Niang. Yeah, I don't really love any of these, to be quite frank with you. All right, we'll take Georges Niang. We'll go ahead and move him to the power forward spot. It's not, perfect, but it should do. For at least 1 season. So now we need to find ourselves a backup center. I'm going to renounce the rights on Henry Ellenson. I'm not really worried about that. And then let's just look at some options here. So backup point guard. I get Patty Mills and Michael Carter-Williams a decent amount. So maybe if I could go like Ty Lawson, who actually has 2 offers at the moment. Who are those from? Yeah, neither of them are really super real. So yeah, that should do it, hopefully. Ty Lawson, welcome to the team. And then finally the center spot, JaVale McGee. Not my first preference, but again, trying to upgrade this bench as much as we possibly can. All right, we should be all set now, and I will just see you guys the rotation at the start of year 2. Second season for us here in Detroit. Last year, obviously, was bottom of the barrel. We could not have been, any worse. Well, we could have, but we were the worst team in the league, and I'm glad that we were, because I think this offseason was pretty good for us. Now, did we make any superstar hits in terms of, crazy high overall players? We're not quite there, but you know what? I think we have a really good blueprint, and we're doing this one a little different because in recent Curry-era rebuilds, the way I've been doing them is a little risky. We've been trying to, intentionally tank for 2 years, and although our team isn't great at the moment, that's not really what I'm trying to do right now. I'm, I wouldn't be mad if we won 42 games. So we'll see. Reggie Jackson, Donovan Mitchell, Tobias Harris, Julius Randle, Andre Drummond. Bench unit will be led by KCP. We signed JaVale McGee along with Ty Lawson. Marcus Morris slides to the bench unit. And then actually something interesting, I forgot I had a qualifying offer on Henry Ellenson, and he actually accepted it, and he's already up to a 77 overall. So, yeah, Niang kind of just here. Actually, could I be a little cheesy here? Like, does Niang have... He's a team option. All right, I'll hang on to him, then we'll maybe move him this offseason. But, yeah, this is the rotation. I'll be interested to see what ends up happening at the end of year number 2. Year 2 wraps up. We finished with a record of 45-37. I'll take it because, again, on paper, this team shouldn't be anything super special. And I'm not saying 45 wins is anything crazy, but I think it's a pretty solid season, all things considered. Where we were last year to now, awesome. CP3, he is your MVP. Lonzo wins Rookie of the Year. You got Zach Randolph coming off the bench in Memphis and is your 6th man. DJ wins Depoy, Iman Shumpert, Most Improved, and Doc Rivers, 67 wins over there in Los Angeles. They are your Coach of the Year. We actually ended up as the 8th seed. I can see it right there. So maybe the East a little bit better. Oh, 45 wins, whatever the hell it was. We were close enough to 47. And solid season all around. Let's dive into some numbers real quick. Let's see how everybody kind of looked for us. Looks like the scoring is pretty well spread out. Reggie Jackson, pretty solid numbers. Tobias Harris, Andre Drummond, Donovan Mitchell, Randall, KCP, Lawson, Morris McGee, and then Ellenson. Rebounding department is Drummond. Looks like he is happy now. He's ecstatic according to his relations, and he's up to an 88 overall. And then assists is going to be Reggie Jackson. So we're taking on Toronto here in round 1 of the playoffs. It is Lowry, DeRozan, Terrence Ross, Ryan Anderson, Valanciunas, Jordan Clarkson. All right, so yeah, pretty good team there in Toronto. I think they're better than us, no doubt about that. We're down 3-0, and we do end up winning game 4, and then, okay, losing 6. Not the end of the world. Actually, I do want to check out the playoff numbers. Just curious. Not super, not going to take these, one way or the other, either way, but I'm just curious. I'm just rambling a little bit more. Okay. Nonetheless, I think this is a good stepping stone in the right direction. Lost the eventual champs. That's okay. The thing we have to decide now is what major moves need to be made still, because I think there is at least 1 or 2 that we haven't obviously considered yet, and we certainly will as we continue to make our way through. So, draft lottery, we have no picks here. Pistons. We're at number 18 overall. Not the end of the world. Good at head coach, and let's approach the 2018 draft. This is, Luka, SGA, Trae Young. So, all right, 18th overall pick. I will use it. Maybe whoever I draft will be included in a bigger trade, but I don't know that for a fact. I think Jalen Brunson is obviously the best player that I'm seeing right here, right now. But without a doubt, I know he's not the highest overall. That probably is Miles Bridges, so he's going to be the guy I take, even though I'm not a big fan of Miles Bridges, the human being. 72 overall. Georges Niang will be brought back, and as we approach qualifying offers, I'll qualify Ellenson again. It's up to a 77 now, and then obviously Randall as well. So this is a pretty loaded free agency class, right? No doubt about that. You got LeBron James here. We just don't really have any money, unfortunately, at this point. So we're going to consider a few different trades because I think I do need to make at least 1 or 2 major upgrades. Oh, okay. Pulled off a big trade with the Miami Heat, and just like that, we landed a big upgrade in this starting 5. Kemba Walker is coming over to Detroit, and in return, we sent out Ty Lawson, JaVale McGee, Niang, Bridges, and our first-round pick next year, which obviously won't barely be super important. So I'm super excited about having Kemba here. Reggie Jackson is actually doing a pretty good job, in my opinion, but ultimately, Walker is a clear-cut upgrade here at this spot. So at this point, I think there's still 1 or 2 other moves I want to make. We're going to bring back Julius Randle, no doubt about that, but I wouldn't mind looking to upgrade this small forward spot. Now, I don't really have anything, super against Tobias Harris. I think there is just a little upgrade out there, and if I can find it, I'll take it, and if not, it is what it is. But I think there is a move that I'm going to look to make. I spent a pretty considerable amount of time looking for a major upgrade in this starting 5, with a trade that included Tobias Harris, and unfortunately, either the players were just untouchable or, the teams wouldn't take the deals, and we just don't really have a ton of draft picks to include. So I settled on this one here from the Wizards. We're obviously swapping the Morris twins for each other. Tobias Harris going in this deal as well, and then we're also getting Jan Mahimi in return, who will be our new backup center. Now, giving out the only 2 first-round picks we have available as tradable assets is not my favorite move in the world. Markieff Morris, just in terms of overall, will be a nice upgrade in the starting 5. So, again, not my favorite move in the world, and it is definitely risky. He goes down 2 overalls at small forward. Are you fucking kidding me? Oh, for the love of God. If he ends up... This is not good. Okay. Well, we might have to actually figure this out at the start of next season, because Terrence Ross... I've just not put myself in a good spot, and it's unfortunate, but it is just the situation we are now in. Man, how old's Terrence Ross? He's 27. Fuck it. Fuck it. All right, Terrence Ross going to be my new starting small forward. Again, he's an upgrade over Tobias Harris. Right now, I have to obviously go ahead and re-sign Julius Randle, and then I'm gonna match anything that Ellenson gets as well. So we should be good there, and I think we're actually pretty much good at every other backup. Do we have a backup small forward right now? I don't think we do, actually. Let me take a look at some small forward options here in free agency. Kyle Anderson, Mr. Slow-Mo himself, not terrible. Hopefully, anyways. Cool. And then I'll wait on Ellenson. And if there's another move at the start of year number 3, I will certainly show you guys. Year 3 here in Detroit. I actually looked for a couple different trade offers, and I did not find anything that I thought would make this team significantly better. So we decided not to move forward with any of them, and the rotation has been finalized. Kemba Walker, Donovan Mitchell. I understand that's a pretty undersized backcourt, but we'll have to do. They're going to be our main scorers. Terrence Ross here at the 3, Julius Randle at the 4, and finally Andre Drummond, who has been pretty much the one main, stay in this starting 5 throughout this rebuild, will remain our starting center. Bench unit has also significantly improved throughout this video. KCP remains our 6-man. Reggie Jackson now slides to the bench. Kyle Anderson, who we brought in free agency. Henry Ellenson actually matched a 2-year deal he got. He's just going to be the backup power forward. And finally, Jan Mahimi, who, of course, we got in a trade as well. So, yeah, is it enough? Time will tell, man. I'll see you guys at the end of year number 3. In another universe, maybe this was an actual possibility. Jabari Parker winning MVP. Wow. 62-20. That is our final record. Yeah, Jabari Parker, Derrick Rose, obviously not, the versions of themselves that are here in this game, but that's, about as I'll take it, considering everything else is much better. Luka Doncic, he is in Orlando. He went number 1 overall and wins Rookie of the Year. Dion Waiters coming off the bench in San Antonio is your 6-man. Kawhi also in San Antonio, winning Depoy. Malik Beasley, most improved, and Dave Yeager, Coach of the Year. Okay, we actually did not have the best record in the league. That belonged to the Kings, but we did have the best record in the East. We won the Eastern Conference by 2 games, and a really solid season overall. Now, I don't want anybody to think I was, downplaying how good I thought this team was going to be, because we do have a lot of really solid players. I just didn't know if we had the star power to get a championship. And I still don't know the answer to that question. But, I'm not sitting here surprised we won 62 games. Brogdon, Giannis, or Chris Middleton, Giannis, Rashawn Holmes, Greg Monroe. This is the squad over there in Milwaukee. Are we able to beat them? I'd like to think so, but they definitely have the best player in the series. And we are up 3-1 at the moment, and thank you. Moving on to LeBron and the Cleveland Cavaliers. There's no way around it. I'm nervous. I don't think this series is going to go our way. I've battled with LeBron in a lot of these videos, and it typically never does. Split the first 2 at home. Lose game 3 on the road. Win game 4. Lose game 5. Get bounced in 6. I can tell when it's going to come. It's actually kind of weird at this point. I can legitimately almost predict when I'm going to lose a series. And it's sad, man. I thought we were good. I don't know. Disappointing, man. All right, well, you know what, man? I'm sorry. Still a pretty good team. I overall thought this was an okay rebuild. It certainly wasn't my best work, but man, I show you guys the good, the bad, and the ugly, and everything in between. So, yeah, as we wrap up this series, of course, only a few teams left to go. Let me know which one you want me to do next down below in the comment section, along with any other video ideas. And yeah, my apologies, Pistons fans. I know you guys still endure a lot of pain and a lot of painful memories from this era. But hey, Cade Cunningham looking like a star for a while. So you got something going for you. All right, man, that'll do it. As always, let me know any of the rebuild ideas down below in the comment section. That'll do it for me. As always, thanks so much for watching. I love you guys. I'll catch you guys all in the next one.